Hey, what's going on guys, it's EruptionFang, and today I've got a short, quick, but neat video that many might find interesting, especially for those of you who don't follow the Borderlands social media accounts, but have stumbled across this video. And that's the idea of what would the four main Vault Hunters of Borderlands 3 have been up to and done with their lives had they not pursued the path of vault hunting, or had things just not gone wrong in their lives. You see, within the run-up to the Game Season Pass 2 DLC, a cosmetic pack was added called the Multiverse Final Form Pack. These use completely new character heads and also bodies for the first time, but with these came their own unique story. So let's go through each of them and explain the lives of what each of them could have been up to. Amara in the beginning was the Tiger of Partali, a local legend who loved to fight criminals. She was famous, had her adoring fans, and was always looking for a good fight. She originally did everything that was capable of in Partali. The gangs were defeated and the people were uplifted. She grew stale of the life she was living, and so she wanted to do something for herself. It was here that she originally chose to go to Pandora following the rumors she's heard about the sirens. But in the alternate universe series of events, she chooses not to go to Pandora. Instead, she follows the path of humility and justice. The fame, the cameras, the publicity. Similarly, she grew tired of it all, but her sense of duty and justice was still strong. Because of that, she became a vigilante. The legend of the Tiger of Partali lived on and grew to take on a life of its own. Amara wears a mask which hides her identity as she roams around wherever needs her, beating up criminals and the corrupt. Her skin is called the Partali Renegade, but if that's her crime-fighting name, it would be a little odd since the Tiger of Partali would immediately be associated with her, thus making the point of the mask useless, but I digress. In the alternate reality, Amara roams around as a crime-fighting hero. Mose was originally a soldier of Vladov's army Ursa Corps division. They were the soldiers who used Iron Bear mech suits to claim countless victories. Mose's journey to the Crimson Raiders began after a mission went wrong at Darzaron Bay. Potentially a purposeful betrayal, or perhaps just happenstance, we don't know for sure as the details are sparse. But Mose was initially wanting to retire from Vladov and take her mech with her. But to do so, she needed to complete a quota of missions. Darzaron Bay was supposed to be her last. So after the death of her entire squad and the failure of the mission, she roamed around from place to place just surviving until she decided to join the Crimson Raiders. In the events of alternate reality, the War of Darzaron Bay happens a bit differently. Similarly, the battle is hard fought, faced with many casualties, looking like an inevitable loss. But it's thanks to the leadership of Mose herself that they managed to clench victory from the jaws of defeat. A war and outcome that would become legendary. Instead of leaving Vladov, she chooses to stay as one of their most decorated and valorous soldiers. She would climb up the ranks, eventually becoming known as Commissar Andreevna. Whatever happened to her want to retire, I don't know, but perhaps in this reality she never wanted to leave, or maybe the war gave her a new purpose and realization. Either way, she became a figurehead of Vladov's army. Flack was a robot who initially gained self-awareness and a thirst for murder. But before they were that, Flack worked under someone referred to as the Grand Archivist, a mysterious character whose ultimate role in the universe we still don't know. The one thing we do know about them was they were responsible for a lot of knowledge and making sure it didn't fall into the wrong hands. Flack was initially just a normal robot meant for helping him, but after gaining self-awareness, they chose to leave and pursue murder and the hunt. In alternate reality, however, gaining their self-awareness, Flack instead chooses to stay and help fulfill their purpose. Their curiosity, instead of being focused on the hunt, was the knowledge and wisdom that came from the Grand Archivist and their role. Flack would spend their time learning and protecting this library, and eventually inheriting the role of Grand Archivist. Zane, the galaxy's sexiest hitman. He'd taken jobs for every megacorporations, seemingly met everyone from everywhere, and made an enemy out of more than half of them. He initially chose to retire after trying to be killed one too many times. The job of Vault Hunter was his final payday. But in the Multiverse story, it's the exact opposite. After questioning whether or not he should retire, he chooses against it, instead focusing harder on not only continuing being the sexiest, but also the best. He uses the latest cutting-edge technology for various upgrades, one of which being his hair. He still wants to look good while doing it. With this, he manages to become the most fearsome hired killer in the galaxy under the codename Assassin 1. Definitely an impressive feat in and of itself. But yeah, so that is what each of the Vault Hunters would have been up to had their lives been a little bit different. Some of them were by choice, others by not bad luck. I think these were pretty interesting little stories they were given, as they very easily could have just dropped the skins and provided no story whatsoever. But they chose to add a little bit of lore to the new release, which I found neat and thought you guys might too, just in case you are unaware of the stories behind them. But anyway, what do you guys think of the skins themselves and the stories behind them? I personally love Moses the most, but that's probably because she's my favorite of the 4. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought of them as well as the stories. Would you like to see more releases like these? Any and all thoughts, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.